Back again, Daniel Vanciana, evangelist to the Hebrew Israelites. Um, yeah, I just had a funny thing happen. I've been talking to this Hebrew Israelite guy, lives in Britain for like at least a year. We talk daily, go back and forth. Mostly he tells me about things going on in the Israelite world, things like that. And I probably should have kept it that way. But he said something that bothered me, so I had to come with it. He made a claim that a lot of so-called Israelites make that Jews don't follow the Tanakh, being the Old Testament, and they do. And I had a lot of issue with that. So I asked them, first of all, I asked them, show me the new moon. When is the new moon in the Tanakh? And anybody who knows the Tanakh knows that it never defines when exactly the new moon is. And if you study different groups, different Hebrews like groups, for instance, ICBK, they hold that the astronomical new moon, which is the dark moon, is the new moon. You say IUIC, they say that the full moon is the new moon because the new moon is not exactly described. What is the new moon? What does it mean? Now we know Jews, we hold that the crescent moon is the new moon. Anyway, I asked him, show me that. He couldn't, he just was quiet. He said, oh, the Talmud's trash, the Talmud's this, the Talmud's that. And I told him, you can't do a single commandment without the Talmud. You can't do a single commandment because without the oral law, you can't do anything. Also, if you are reading the Bible, King James Bible, or if you're studying Hebrew, that's a Jewish Bible because it only came into non-Jewish hands like 600 years ago. So you can't say, oh, the ancient Israelites, blah blah blah, such and such. You can't really make any excuse when you look at any sort of Masoretic text. That is a Jewish text. That's a rabbinic text. And so he went on and on and on and about Isaiah and how in Isaiah 66 it says that everybody's going to worship the God of Israel. And I told him there's different levels of worshiping the God of Israel, and that Israel would never stop be a treasured nation, meaning the Jews. And the only Israelites today, the only true Israelites today are the Jews. So he comes with this stuff like, oh, you're just a convert, you're just a convert. And I said, yes, I'm a convert. That means I'm a authenticated, certified Jew. I am an Israelite according to the law. Now, how are you an Israelite? And he said, well, hello. He said, because, that's what I feel I am. That's who I am. And I said that would be fine. But the difference is that you're coming for the Jews. You're coming for the Jews. You're saying, oh, the Jews aren't the real Jews. The Jews are fake. They can't prove they're Jewish. I said, do you go to any other nation and say that? Do you go to the Mexicans and say, you're not the real Mexicans? You're not the real Mexicans. Do you go to the Russians and say, you're not the real Russians? Prove you're Russian. No. So why do you go to the Jews and say, prove you're the real Jews? Right? It's self-evident that the Jews are the Jews. Who else? What other candidate is there for being Israel in the world except for the Jews? There's no other candidates. There's nobody else who could say we have the Masoretic text. We've been keeping the Torah for generations and generations. So to wrap it up, you know, I struggle. I started off with the idea. I started off with the idea of trying to build bridges between so-called Israelites and Jews. That was my original start. That's why I originally began my journey. But the thing that keeps coming up is, it's not enough for Israelites people to say, "Well, I believe I'm Israel," which is fine because that's what happened with Beta Israel, right? Beta Israel, they say they're Jews, and we don't have genetic proof that they're Jews, but we saw their customs. We saw they were separated from the non-Jews. Say okay, and we accepted them, right? You have B'nai Menashe in India. They have no proof that they're actually Jewish, but they were keeping the customs. The difference is basically, in one more group I'm going to name, you got the Igbo Jews. But the common denominator is they have to accept Jewish authority. They have to accept that the Jews are the Jews, and we want to be a part of you. So once you say that, okay, fine. We can talk about it. But the difference is all these so-called Israelites, they reject the Jewish authority, they reject Judaism, and then they want to say, oh, and they want to say we're the real Jews. And that's the problem. Because everything that they have that has any roots to it is from the Jews. It's from the Jews, the normal rabbinic Jews. So that's the issue, and I don't really see any way around it. As long as so-called Israelites are claiming to be the real Jews and saying that that they're the real Jews and we're fake, then there's no way to reconcile things. Now, if they say we're also Jews, or we're Israel also, okay, we can do something with that. We can work with that. We can reconcile that. Just like was reconciled with the Beta Israel, who claimed they're from Dan, just like was reconciled with the B'nai Menashe, who claimed they're from Menashe. They're coming to Israel. They're getting Israeli citizenship, many of them. Just like what's happening with Igbo Jews right now, it's a slow process, but eventually some kind of thing will be worked out with them. Eventually it will be worked out. But as long as these Israelites are claiming to be the only real Israelites and the Jews are fake, a lot of them hold to this Khazar theories and things like that, that the Jews are just converts. It's nothing wrong with being a convert, but the point is they're saying just converts, meaning they're not the real original Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they say that Talmud is trash, and they say they're holding all this Shalom and Shalachia and all these fake Hebrew. There's no way to make a way back. So I'm kind of at an impasse. I spend a lot of time with certain people, months talking to them, working with them, and it always comes back to the same thing. Who is a Jew and who is not a Jew? And it always comes back to the Talmud, the oral law. And the other part that I see is the whole race thing. That most of the Jews, they are white passing. At least a good percentage of them are white passing. At least the ones in America are mostly white passing. And the ones, and they're, a lot of times the people I interact with look more like me. So it's an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing thing. I don't really know the solution. Peace and love.